Good evening y bienvenidos a Polaris 2021. I am Rosaida Morales Rosario, a proud member of the Board of Directors of Leadership Greater Hartford, and also an alumni of the best Quest class ever, 1980, and also an alumni of American Leadership Forum, class number 2, and a long-standing fan of Leadership Greater Hartford.
Let's give it up for Rosaida.
You're going to embarrass me.
And I am Andre Santiago, Vice President for Programs here with Leadership Greater Hartford.
And we are the dynamic duo.
We are the dynamic duo. We are live, folks. Let's give it up for being live. It is an honor to welcome you this evening to our very first virtual Polaris Awards.
We are thrilled that you have joined us tonight to celebrate our work in this dynamic community and to publicly applaud this year's honorees. All of them are extraordinary leaders whose work helps our community become stronger, more vital, more just, and more caring.
For nearly 20 years, Leadership Greater Hartford has hosted the Polaris Awards to celebrate guiding lights in our community who model the way and inspire us all. Some are well known, but others are our neighbors and friends who don't always get to step into the spotlight. Behind me, you'll see a full list of past Polaris Award winners. We invite you to look at those names and to join us in celebrating the diversity of backgrounds, identities, and ideas that they represent, plus the collective positive impact that all of them have had on the Greater Hartford community. Let's give it up for our past Polaris Award winners.
And tonight, we add 4 more to this impressive list of luminaries. Community, leadership, connections are our 3 pillars. So we've organized this year's awards according to these 3 themes. And we have added a 4th very special award to recognize a Leadership Greater Hartford star who exemplifies visionary community leadership.
We hope you are all settled in and enjoying a wonderful box of refreshments from La Cocina Catering, the Chrysalis Center's amazing social enterprise culinary arts training program that truly does transform lives. Leadership Greater Hartford was supposed to have our event at Chrysalis Center, but with the ever-evolving health protocols that have emerged, we've decided to transform and go virtual. So here we are this evening.
And after deciding that this year's celebration would be virtual, we looked for ways for our community to meaningfully connect and engage with each other. Nearly 30 Leadership Greater Hartford program alumni from the past 10 years agreed to host virtual happy hour reunions for their Leadership Greater Hartford program cohorts earlier this evening, all for a happy hour. Our traditional Polaris cocktail hour itself was transformed into alumni reunions.
Say that 5 times fast.
I know. And we hope it was fun to reconnect with old friends. Thank you to our many virtual happy hour hosts.
Yes, thank you indeed. You know, transformation became the norm shortly after our last in-person Polaris event at the end of 2019. Since then, the world has continued to transform in ways we never could have imagined before.
True. But some things are constant. Our Leadership Greater Hartford community is strong and more resilient than we ever knew. And our LGH community has continued to step up and support our important work through these unprecedented times. Take, for example, the generous support of our sponsors, support we can and do continue to count on. This event would not have happened without our sponsors, who embrace the mission of Leadership Greater Hartford to build strong and vibrant communities, and who, like us, are inspired by the stars we celebrate tonight.
We are proud to recognize the River 105.9 and the entire iHeartMedia community as our presenting sponsor this evening. Thank you for your ongoing support in making this evening truly special. Look how amazing this is, right? We're famous. We're on a stage. Look at this.
And thanks to our gold sponsors for their investment in our mission. Thank you, Cigna, Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare, and Webster Bank for supporting Leadership Greater Hartford.
We would also like to thank our silver sponsors for their commitment. Ascensus, Laura Fish Kelly of Ameriprise Financial, and St. Francis Hospital.
And thank you to our bronze sponsors listed on the slide for their support of the work of Leadership Greater Hartford. And also thanks as well to our copper sponsors whose support makes a huge difference.
Additionally, we would like to thank our visionary sponsors, whose year-long investment in Leadership Greater Hartford has made it possible for us to offer such engaging and timely programs during these challenging times. We're grateful for your commitment to the civic fabric of the Hartford region.
Another constant we can depend on is the amazing audience that has gathered tonight. We welcome all of you and can attest to the fact that, like every Leadership Greater Hartford event and program, this diverse group of individuals shares a commitment to contributing their time, talents, and treasures to the community. Our audience tonight includes young leaders, older adults, seasoned adults, and in-betweeners. I think I made that word up. From all walks of life and all corners of the region. Some of us have called Connecticut and Hartford home for generations, while others are newcomers who, often with a little help from Leadership Greater Hartford, are making connections that help them feel at home. And to help tonight's audience make connections and feel at home, even if you are, in fact, at home, we encourage all of you to engage with one another by using the chat. Send your greetings and share your thoughts as our program unfolds.
Please do not share in the chat any embarrassing stories or photos of Rosida or myself, please.
And some of you have some stories.
There are many, but not in the chat for tonight. But we have friends all over the country and even overseas. So please introduce yourself, say hello via chat, tell the world how you know LGH and why you're here tonight. Please share those special memories with everyone. And don't forget to bid on our awesome auction items. Polaris is not only our chance to recognize these amazing community leaders who help us to make a better community here in the Hartford region, it's also a fundraiser for our organization. Your attendance here tonight, your winning bids on our amazing auction items, and your donations are all key to help LGH continue our work in this ever-changing world.
And while Leadership Greater Hartford has continued its work, another constant, the changes in our world have certainly transformed the way in which that work gets done. Right, Andre?
Absolutely. Prior to March 2020, Leadership Greater Hartford had never hosted a virtual workshop, event, or program. And just 3 weeks after the state shut down, we launched our virtual Lessons in Leadership series, and we've not looked back since. We've created a new lunchtime webinar called Leading in the New Now. We developed a free online course for high school students called Speaking of Leadership. And we've offered a new virtual experience for our C-suite leaders called The Verge. Our consulting and training portfolio was also transformed as we shifted to meet the needs of our partner organizations, some of which include Goodwin University, the Connecticut Housing and Finance Authority, the Latimer Group, United Way, Lincoln Financial Group, City of Hartford, and many, many more friends.
And our core programs like Quest, Common Ground, the Third Age Initiative, and Leaders on Board were transformed also into virtual experiences. The amazing and creative staff of Leadership Greater Hartford even figured out how to transform our tours, always a highlight of our core programs, so that program participants could learn about the community and connect with those who make it work without ever even stepping on a bus.
Beyond these technical program transformations, we've also transformed how our programs address and respond to the systemic inequities and the responsibilities that we as leaders have to make our communities more just. We are more intentionally exploring leadership through a lens of racial equity, and with the support of our board, our staff, program participants, alumni, and our newly formed Race Equity Advisory Council, we are creating opportunities to assess, reflect, and further develop strategies and partnerships to ensure that LGH continues to respond to the greatest leadership needs within our community.
At the start of this program this evening, we showed the video that lives on the Leadership Greater Hartford website. It really captures the life and spirit of LGH. It may be hard to imagine capturing that life and spirit in a virtually and socially distant world, but we think we've done a pretty good job with that transformation.
High five.
And here's a peek at what that looked like. You see, transformation for sure. And of course, we can't overlook the leadership transformation at LGH itself. After 35 amazing years under Ted Carroll's leadership, during which LGH was transformed from a two-person organization with one program into one of the largest community leadership organizations in the country. And definitely the most programmatically robust and diverse. LGH is beginning a new chapter with a new president and CEO, the first woman president of LGH.
That's right, that's right. It is an honor to introduce my friend and colleague, Larissa Kotke, our new president and CEO. Larissa is no stranger to our network, having joined the staff 5 years ago as the Director of Finance and Operations. 2 years ago, she became Vice President, overseeing both of those areas, and is a proud Quest alumni. Having most recently served as the Acting President and CEO, Larissa demonstrated the ability and passion to lead us going forward. We have no doubt that LGH will continue to play an important role within our community and transform our communities through strong leadership training development programs. The values that have been our cornerstones, leadership, community, diversity, collaboration, and engagement, are all constants as we work to achieve our vision and mission. Please help us welcome Larissa.
Well said, Andre, well said. With that, I think it is time for you and me to yield the spotlight to the President and CEO of Leadership Greater Hartford, Larissa Kotke.
One more round of applause.
Thank you, Rosida and Andre, for starting this evening's program off so beautifully and for that generous introduction. I am so proud and excited to be here with you all this evening, those of you in this room and all of you watching from home. I've met many of you during my first 5 years at Leadership Greater Hartford, but as my previous roles have traditionally been a little bit more behind the scenes rather than out front, I wanted to spend just a few moments this evening to share a bit more about my own leadership journey, about what's next for Leadership Greater Hartford, and how you can be a part of that. I'm originally from Colorado. I moved to Boston for school and moved to Connecticut for love. Luckily, that has worked out well, and my husband, daughter, dog, and I have chosen to make Connecticut our home. I've really been around nonprofits my whole life. My mom was an executive director for 25 years of a nonprofit in my hometown. So part of my childhood included occasional afternoons of stuffing, licking, and stamping annual appeal letters to donors and community members. But what I also remember is that every time I visited my mom at work, I saw people with vastly different backgrounds who were brought together by a common passion and drive to make their communities better through mission-driven work. I loved the energy of the nonprofit environment, so after graduating college, I officially began my career in nonprofits. I've been in the Connecticut nonprofit world now for 10 years. The past 5 years at Leadership Greater Hartford, I've gotten to know every piece of the organization's operations. I've also witnessed the incredible legacy of Leadership Greater Hartford in action and have seen how transformative our programs can be in individuals' lives, including my own as a Quest 2018 grad. As president and CEO, I get to continue that work, but now also get to be out front, building relationships, exploring new partnerships, and identifying the ways that we can best serve our community. As I follow in my mom's footsteps, I hope that I can be a role model to my own daughter and to other daughters in this community. I hope that we continue to expand what leadership looks like and increase access and build inclusive opportunities for those who have not traditionally been given a chance to lead. This ties in directly with where Leadership Greater Hartford is going. The world today is different from what it was even just 18 months ago, and we know that leaders are facing new challenges on a daily basis. I am incredibly proud of how LGH and our team has adapted, responded, and transformed our programming to allow us to continue and expand our work in developing leaders. And we are now ready to use that knowledge to inform our plans for the future. So within the next few months, the LGH board and staff will be embarking on a new strategic planning process, during which we will refine our focus as an organization and begin to write the next chapter of Leadership Greater Hartford. But to do that, we're going to need your help. We ask that you give us feedback. We'll be soliciting community input through surveys, focus groups, and one-on-one meetings. We want to share dialogue and conversations where we hear your thoughts, perspectives, and insights. From community leaders, we want to hear what the biggest challenges are that you face daily. From community members, we want to hear what you need more of from your leaders. And we want to hear what you want and need from Leadership Greater Hartford. So if you have something to contribute, please feel free to reach out to us directly. We also invite you to participate. Attend our events, workshops, and webinars. Enroll in our programs like Quest, Executive Orientation, and the Third Age Initiative, all of which will be starting new classes next spring. Or you can explore how LGH can be a resource for your entire team by creating customized leadership development programming through our consulting and training work. And for those of you who want to get even more involved, join our team. We are currently hiring both a director of business development and a director of finance to round out our exceptional team and to help us in envisioning and actualizing our dreams for the future. And of course, tonight, we ask that you make a donation or bid in our auction, knowing that your investment in LGH enables us to offer more program scholarships, ensuring equity and access to leadership development. It allows us to expand our program offerings and offer new development opportunities to new audiences and in new ways. And it ensures that we have the resources needed to respond to the changing leadership needs in our community. And lastly, tonight, we ask that you allow yourselves to be inspired by our Polaris awardees, to really hear their stories and feel the impact of leaders who put people and our communities first. Tonight, we celebrate 4 Polaris Award winners who exemplify the kind of leadership we teach and the values we promote in our programs. They stand as shining examples to all of us of the important and positive impact of great leadership within our community. I'm going to turn it back over to Andre, but I just wanted to say again what an honor it is to be here with you this evening, and congratulations again to our Polaris awardees.
We are in good hands with you, Larissa. Thank you for those welcoming remarks and for sharing our vision of the future for LGH. Thank you. But yes, it is time to celebrate some extraordinary leaders. Our first award winner was nominated by the Connect Abilities Task Force from this year's Third Age Initiative program. He was a key partner in their efforts to find meaningful work and volunteer opportunities for individuals with developmental disabilities. After working for several years in Florida, Herb Virgo felt he had lost his sense of purpose. He returned to Hartford, hoping to find his way. He found it in Keeney Park. Herb, a Hartford native who had studied human relations in college, got a job helping clear trails in the park, the city's largest, sprawling across more than 700 acres in North Hartford. By the time Herb arrived in 2014, much of the park had fallen into disrepair, and the trails were choked with debris and illegally dumped garbage. Today, those 14 miles of trails have been cleared. The park is being beautifully restored, and Herb is leading an organization that makes Keeney a valuable resource for Hartford residents. It's called the Keeney Park Sustainability Project, and it's focused on helping youths, families, and others learn to grow food and become environmentally conscious, all while enhancing the vitality of the park, which has through history played a key role here in Hartford. Herb says the park, built in the late 1890s, was created as a healing space for society during an industrial era, and he's working to expose as many people as he can to the beauty, tranquility, and the healing spirit of the park. Herb knows the power of spending quite a bit of time there. He says, "During the process of restoring the park, nature claimed me, and it helped me to restore myself." So powerful. So it's no wonder he had dedicated himself to helping others restore themselves as well and to help them find their own path. One young man, now stationed in Kuwait with the Army National Guard, worked summers with the Sustainability Project through middle school and high school. He says spending time in nature and working under Herb's leadership helped shape his life. Herb taught me how to be a young man, how to be a leader, and how to give back to my community, he says. The Sustainability Project, which is an outgrowth of the Friends of Keeney Park, has forged partnerships with dozens of school systems, universities, churches, state organizations, environmental organizations, and corporations. As a result, hundreds of students and others have spent time in the park, growing vegetables, tending chickens, and learning about such topics as forest management, aquaponics, health, and nutrition. He's also given out scores of home gardening kits, rain barrels, and bags of soil so residents can grow gardens in their own backyards and feed their families. Says one resident who knows him well, "He's opened up new worlds for people who used to look at their yards and think it was just a place for relaxing. Now they can see how nature truly works." For Herb, the Sustainability Project is only the beginning. He's in the process of planning what he calls the Urban Ecology and Wellness Center in Keeney Park, building upon the education and environmental programs that he's already launched. That vision is testimony to why we're honoring Herb here this evening, for the depth of his commitment, both to helping others and to making Keeney Park an integral part of the city's fabric. Leadership Greater Hartford is proud to present Herb Virgo with the 2021 Community Polaris Award. Unfortunately, Herb was not able to join us in person for tonight's celebration, but he was able to record his comments for us earlier today, and we share them with you now. Enjoy.
Andre, thank you very much. I am very humbled by your introduction. I'd also like to thank Leadership Greater Hartford and the Third Age Initiative for putting together this award, as well as the nomination. I'd also like to thank community partners that have supported us over the years with our work in Keeney Park and the surrounding community. One being the Friends of Keeney Park, also the University of Connecticut, who we've worked with a number of departments on a number of projects throughout the years. And most importantly, the City of Hartford, the Office of Sustainability, Forestry Department, and the Department of Public Works. Without them, none of our work would be possible. We are very excited to be moving forward, working on a new project, which is the Urban Ecology Wellness Center at Keeney Park. So stay tuned for more information on that. I also like to give thanks to family members who have come before me and kind of paved the way for the work that we do in the community. My great aunt, Isabel Mendez Blake, was a community activist. My grandfather, Luther B. Christie, was one of the founding fathers of the West Indian Social Club. And my uncle, Charles Christie, was the president of the Greater Hartford Festival of Jazz. It is important for me to give thanks because when it's all said and done, for me, what I'd like to hear is a well done by my ancestors and those who have come before me. So this is why I do what I do. This is what motivates me. And I am extremely grateful to be honored tonight as part of this award ceremony. Thank you very much.
One more round of applause for her. And congratulations. Our next honoree is a man that I have had the immense privilege and pleasure to know for over 30 years. He's known quite simply as Brother Carl. For more than 50 years, he's been a brother, a caring, loving, trusted figure to so many in this community. He has worked tirelessly to help young people in Hartford turn their lives around, to extinguish the flames of violence and hate, and to open their hearts to a better future. At the age of 80, where some people might be resting, Carl Hardrick still works 12 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whew, I'm tired just thinking about it. Now, with the Wilson Gray YMCA and Hartford Communities That Care, he crusades for peace, for turning away from anger, for building a better future. He believes deeply that every single person has the capacity to change, if only they can put aside their resentments and their pain. I know I can't reach everybody, he says with a laugh, but if I can reach one or two people, and each of them in turn can reach one or two people, I've done my job. He has saved scores. A lifelong resident of Hartford, Brother Carl started working with young people as part of his job at the SAND organization. He soon found himself in the middle of a looming all-out war between two North Hartford gangs, one from Bellevue Square and the other from Stowe Village. He managed to bring the leaders of the gangs together and diffuse what could have been a horrible situation, not an easy feat. We had to make this positive or the whole community would be in trouble, he remembers. He soon gained a reputation for mediating gang disputes, not just in Hartford, but in other cities around the country. The secret was his skill at listening, building trust, but mostly his ability to deeply care for those with whom he worked. That spelt authenticity to everybody. So as a former Dutch Point youth who at the age of 15 met Brother Carl, he grew up in the projects. He's one of us. He speaks the same language as us. Brother Carl understands us. That youth, now a longtime employee with Boys and Girls Clubs, says both his brothers were members of gangs. One served 17 years in a prison. The other one was killed. If it hadn't been for Brother Carl, the man says, I would have ended up just like them. Instead, he showed me there's more to life than what I was seeing in Dutch Point. Tragically, while Brother Carl has dedicated his life to ending violence in this city, he felt it personally last spring when his 19-year-old grandson was shot and killed in Hartford. But in characteristic fashion, the pain of loss has made him work even harder. He says, what makes you weaker can also make you stronger. You have to pick yourself up. You can't stop what you're doing. You just have to do more. Brother Carl is truly one of Hartford's unsung treasures, a savior of the streets who has never for one moment given up on anyone. For his remarkable work, for the lives he has changed, and for the lives he has saved, Leadership Greater Hartford is proud to present Carl Hardrick with the 2021 Polaris Leadership Award.
There's always three sides to the story. There's your side, my side, and then there's the truth. And everything she said here was the truth. So as I get on, I said, I don't have to say that much. She done said it all. She went through the history. But I do like to thank the leadership of Greater Hartford for recognizing those that do the hard work. It's not the woman or the man, it's the plan. It's not the rap, it's the map. And it seems to me that they go through the state, the city, the neighborhood to see who's really doing the work and who's not getting recognized. Also like to thank those individuals that supported this work that's in the suite and those individuals that's in the street. It's important because you can't do this by yourself. You have to do it collectively. And you got to believe that those that are out there, do want to live. You got to have faith, and even sometimes you can't see it. So it takes faith to do this work. But what's being taught here with the leadership is you can operate, you can agitate, you can motivate, but in the end, you got to be able to operate. And you need those organizations like Greater Hartford, Hartford Communities That Care, Andrew Woods and his staff, Compass, Dean, Warren, Diego, Blue Hills, Kevin Lovejoy, Larry, all those that's doing the work, and brothers and sisters I couldn't mention, but you can't do it. They're not getting the recognition. But they're out there doing the work day and night. And in order for us to make a difference, we recognize that we have to collectively come together and we have to see those that need help. A lot of times they'll come up to you, and how do you engage? And people always ask me, Brother Kyle, you've been doing this all the time. What is it that you do? What's different? I said, young people really don't care how much you know. They want to know how much you care. LGH cares because they look and believe in who's doing the work. And I want to thank you for this award. I want to thank you for those individuals that believe in me. And I want to thank the young people that listen to me. We'll never give up. As long as you can breathe, we believe you can change. Thank you.
Let's keep it going, yeah.
Thank you, and congratulations again, Carl. It was wonderful to see you come up here and receive that award. To introduce our Connections Award recipient, I'd like to invite Renee DeNino to the stage. For the fourth year in a row, Renee DeNino of the River 105.9 and iHeartMedia has interviewed our Polaris recipients and honorees and granted us incredible amounts of airtime and publicity across their platforms. And this year, we're broadcasting live from their beautiful studios. We are deeply grateful to Renee and to the radio station for once again being the Polaris presenting sponsor. Please welcome to the stage Renee DeNino.
I'm so thrilled to be here, and I'm so honored to be a part of this event. And now I've been a part of this event so long that I need readers. So as we're growing together, so it's a true honor to be here. And in the presence of such amazing, inspiring people, I feel like I've done nothing today compared to all of you here. So, oh my goodness, let's continue. And of course, Roseda, looking beautiful tonight. It is my honor again to be here at the Leadership Greater Hartford Polaris Awards, representing the River 105.9 and all of our iHeart radio stations with iHeart communities. We love talking to the honorees every year because I think in Connecticut we don't get to meet all the people who really deserve to be met. And that's what the Polaris Awards do, and that's what Leadership Greater Hartford does. So to continue on, Marcia Peck always wanted to own her own business. Several years ago, she was thinking about this. She started planning the launch of a home healthcare agency. She was overwhelmed. She needed financing, needed tech support. She needed help with dozens of details. Today, her business is Tender Care Home Healthcare Services based in East Hartford. It's thriving. And she credits the University of Hartford's Entrepreneurial Women's Business Center. Now, this center arranged workshops, provided networking opportunities, and most of all, offered constant counseling to help her navigate the often perilous path to launching and sustaining a business. Now, thanks to the center, she found out about the Hartford Economic Development Corporation and was able to get critical funding. Now, thanks to a technology internship program at the university, she didn't have to pay a big firm to get the computers and support she needed. Most of all, she found at the center there were people there that really cared about her and her success. She says, without the center, I wouldn't have been able to do it. So many people start businesses and fail, but I had the center, and even now, their support continues. They care about me, my well-being, and my business. The Women's Business Center was founded in 1999, and in recent years, it has helped scores of women of color, like Ms. Peck, find their business footing. The center's staff, Melena Irwin and Darshell Hutchins, that's D for dynamic, by the way, Elaine Thomas-Williams, and Shelley McMillan, what a team, say starting a business is a risky venture, but it's even harder for women, especially women of color. And COVID has made it all the more precarious. In the summer of 2020, Darshell came up with the idea of creating a series specifically aimed at women entrepreneurs of color, one of the fastest growing segments of business, small business, I should say. The center formed a team to develop the Women of Color in Business series, and the first panel was launched that September. Since then, the center has held panel discussions quarterly, focusing on the struggles women of color have encountered, such as difficulty in gaining access to capital and the role of racial bias. The sessions also have offered strategies for overcoming these roadblocks. They've reached several hundred women, and the staff says the key has been featuring businesswomen and experts to whom the audience can relate. Says one center staff member, it's inspiring to hear how they've succeeded, and it gives women confidence they can succeed. The center also provides an extensive array of workshops with small business owners in mind. From last October to June, the center offered 106 different classes with an attendance of over more than 1,800. Marcia Peck says the center helped make her dreams come true. Any questions I can't answer on my own? I have the center, she says. This is why tonight we honor the University of Hartford's Entrepreneurial and Women's Business Center for their steadfast efforts in helping nurture the business spirit in women of color. Leadership Greater Hartford is proud to present the center with the 2021 Connections Polaris Award. Would Melena and Elaine please come to the podium?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. Renee, what a wonderful introduction. Your energy is just infectious. Zoraida, Andre, thank you so much. Leadership Greater Hartford, what a great honor. Congratulations on all the amazing work that you do, and congrats on your new female leader. Looking forward to many years of partnership. Connections Award means so much to us. Of course, a recognition for all we do in support of our mission, but most of all, this opportunity to shine a spotlight on the women entrepreneurs like Marcia that we work with every day, and that are there doing the hard work, making their dreams a reality for themselves, their families, their communities. All we do is really make the connections for them, right? We connect them to knowledge that they need. We connect them to the resources they need. And we really connect them to themselves, giving them that confidence, giving them that vision that they can make those dreams a reality. We have so many partners and so many connections to thank for. Of course, our hosts at the University of Hartford, who provide the supportive environment for our center. Our many programmatic funding partners like the Small Business Administration. But at the end of the day, it's about the power of a team. I'm so glad that there's 4 of us on this team, award because we couldn't do it without each other. So I'd like to thank my colleagues, Darshell as the advocate and kind of the champion for this award, Shelley, who created the marketing magic around the program, and Elaine, my colleague Elaine, who is such an inspiration to the rest of the team and has been from before I joined the center. So thank you all. Elaine.
I'd like to thank the Leadership Greater Hartford, and I'm really, really proud to be here today. I am a LGH alumni. Thank you very much. And we defined success by the panel, in particular, of the women and the panelists. They were great. They answered questions. They provided inspiration. And it was just an exciting time to see those women of color in business that were very successful and could inspire the audience that were listening to. I, like they say at the Academy, would like to accept this award for the team and Darshell, who was the author of the series. Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take a bow. Take a
Bow,
bow.
bow, bow.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
All right, congratulations to all, Milena, Elaine, and also to Darshell and Shelley, your fellow teammates watching at home. To present our final award this evening, we've invited back an old friend. He truly needs no introduction, the man, the myth, the legend, but I will introduce him anyways. I'd like to welcome Ted Carroll, former president and CEO of Leadership Greater Hartford, to the stage to present our Visionary Award this evening. Let's give it up for Ted.
Thank you. Thank you, Andre, and good evening, friends. It is such an honor for me to be with you today to present a Polaris Award to Jason Jakubowski. I've come to know and admire Jason over a 15-year period. He's been an exemplary LGH participant in multiple programs, an active board member, superb board chair, and one of the most enthusiastic ambassadors that Leadership Greater Hartford could ever imagine. And despite having an almost pathological loyalty to a certain team from the Bronx, I consider Jason a very good friend and a community leader I would be willing to follow at any time. And let me tell you why. Think back to March 2020. COVID had suddenly shut down Connecticut. Fear was gripping the state. Food pantries were closing to keep their workers and patrons safe. Volunteers, on whom organizations like Food Share and Leadership Greater Hartford and others must depend, had to stay home because of COVID. Meanwhile, the demand for food was spiking, and those who needed that food had no way to get it. But Jason Jakubowski and Food Share sprang into action distributing produce from a parking lot at the Hartford Regional Market. As up to 1,000 cars a day began driving through that site, however, they needed something bigger. Jason immediately thought of nearby Rentschler Field in East Hartford with its sprawling parking lots. Food distribution was launched there April 20th, 2020, and will end actually this Saturday after 18 months of operation, a hopeful sign that the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic are finally ebbing. But at the peak of the pandemic, Food Share was providing food at its drive-through sites that resulted in up to 2,800 meals a day. Overall, Connecticut Food Share has loaded food into more than 277,000 cars, and it's been enough food to make about 8 million meals, all delivered in a way to preserve the dignity of the needy, many of whom were seeking assistance for the very first time in their lives. It was a crowning achievement for Jason and his team, but not the only one since he became the organization's CEO 4 years ago. Consider these other accomplishments. Shortly after he arrived at Food Share, he rallied the staff and almost immediately boosted the employee morale. Just 1 year after Jason's tenure, the Hartford Current recognized Food Share as one of the region's top workplaces, an honor it has won every year since. And then, knowing that it's never enough to feed people for a day, Jason found new ways to continue the organization's long-standing commitment to eradicate the root causes of hunger and poverty. He helped launch the innovative Food Share Institute for Hunger Research and Solutions, and its findings are being used throughout the country. And even in the depths of the pandemic, Jason helped to engineer the merger a year ago of Food Share and the Connecticut Food Bank. And today, Connecticut Food Share has more than 100 employees, 8,000 volunteers, and offices in Bloomfield, Wallingford, and Bridgeport. Despite all that he has done in such a short period of time, Jason remains humble and simply credits his Connecticut Food Share teammates. Well, that modesty is just one of the reasons he's an outstanding leader. He's also a great listener. He's decisive. He trusts his staff implicitly. And while he is a relentless New York Yankee fan, he is even more relentless about serving people and partners throughout Connecticut. Simply put, he leads with empathy, sympathy, and humanity. Friends, let me just quote some of the people who work most closely with Jason. Says one employee, "Jason's leadership always puts people first." Says another, "It's an extraordinary place to work. There's a consistent sense of team. No one thinks that they are better than anyone else." As a board member succinctly puts it, with Jason, it's all about service. Serving others is in Jason's DNA, but it begins with his family, particularly the 5 children that he and his wife are raising in West Hartford. But his heart is big enough to share with the larger community as well. His public service career started early. In fact, he was elected in New Britain at the tender age of 21 as a city councilman. And then at 25, he became New Britain's treasurer. And whether it was with Charter Oak State College, the Hospital for Special Care, or now with Connecticut Food Share, Jason simply says, "I've always just wanted to do something to help the community." Well, what bigger challenge could he tackle than working to end hunger in this state? Imagine, ending hunger in Connecticut. Well, for daring to dream what some might call an impossible dream, Leadership Greater Hartford is proud to present Jason Jakubowski with the 2021 Visionary Polaris Award. Jason, congratulations.
Both of our teams have gone home. I just said to Ted that both of our teams have gone home for the season, unfortunately. You guys didn't tell me that Ted was going to be introducing me, and I, Ted, I treasure our friendship very much over the last 15 plus years. But thank you for those kind words. And everybody at Leadership Greater Hartford, it's a wonderful organization. Andre, Rosita, Larissa, my fellow Yukon Husky, you already are a terrific leader of this organization. And then of course my dear friend Tisa, who I kind of left chairing this board of directors. I asked you to be my vice chair a few years ago. You said yes, and who knew all that there'd be a pandemic? But no, I mean, Tisa is the paragon of leadership and friendship herself. So thank you for everything that you do. To all the other award winners, it's just an honor to be here with you guys here tonight and sharing this stage here at iHeartRadio. My great friend Renee Danino is here. She's not just a partner of ours in the community, but Sarah and I love you and Sal like family, and you guys are the best. And we're looking forward to spending a lot of time together as we do every Thanksgiving. Turkey Tuesday right around the corner, so it should be a lot of fun. in terms of all of these very nice things that Ted was saying about me, I always look back to the fact that it wouldn't be possible without three very distinct groups of people. First is my board of directors. Beth Henry and our board of directors are just, it's a tremendous board made up of selfless people who are only concerned about helping to feed people here in the state of Connecticut. I couldn't do what I do, and I couldn't lead the way that I do if it wasn't for them allowing me to do that and supporting me 100% of the time. Leadership starts at the top, and while I get it, Connecticut Food Share has done a lot of wonderful things. At the end of the day, it's all because of our board of directors. Secondly, my team. I come from a sports family. I believe, my dad was a longtime coach. I'm a longtime coach. Nobody does anything alone. Certainly in this business, nobody does everything alone. Certainly not in the nonprofit sector, and certainly not during a pandemic. I can't say enough about the people I work with, both the employees and the volunteers out there in the community. Very simply, we couldn't accomplish any of this without them. And while, yes, we've been out there 18 months with these drive-through distributions, it would not have been possible without the staff, without the volunteers who were out there in rain, in wind, sleet, 100-degree weather, 0-degree weather. Every time Renee came out to one of those sites, it rained. It was guaranteed. It was guaranteed. Her hair was a mess. I didn't have that problem. But my team is amazing, and I work with the best people in the state of Connecticut. And then finally, my family. And I think there's a lot of times that people see, public versions of people. People see what goes on in the public sector, and people see what, all of these news clips and little sound bites and stuff like that. At the end of the day, it's about who you go home to. And I am very, very fortunate and blessed to go home to my wife, Sarah, my 5 children, my parents, my brother, my in-laws. We're a very close family. And if I didn't have them at the end of the day to go home to, I don't think we would have been able to accomplish any of this over the last 18 months. Last thing I want to say, listening to all of these stories here today and reflecting on this, we live in a tough world right now. It's not easy out there. There's a lot of hate, there's a lot of malice, there's a lot of anger, and that's unfortunate. But one of the things that I've seen here in the last 18 months here in the state of Connecticut, here in the greater Hartford area, when you look at people who work for and volunteer for organizations like Connecticut Food Share, who work for and volunteer for organizations like Leadership Greater Hartford, one of the things that I have seen firsthand is despite all of that, despite all of the cynicism out there, this is a community that believes in gratitude. This is a community that believes in this, in partnership, and this is a community in which love wins in the end every single time. So thank you very much. This is quite the honor. Thank you.
Actually, before you leave, Jason, a point of past president privilege.
Oh, that's not.
Jason's the kind of guy, he is such a loyal friend. He would take the shirt off his back. And so last week I decided to take the shirt, my favorite shirt, off my back. I just want you to know, if at any point you need the shirt off my back, this is yours. Just call my name.
That's not going to happen.
But it's there.
I appreciate
We just talked about love and unity.
This is love. This is sharing.
We are live, friends. We are live. Let's give another round of applause to all 4 honorees. As brother Carl said, from C-suite to the street, that truly embodies leaders at every phase and stage. So we are truly inspired and honored to celebrate with all of you at home and with everyone here in the studio such amazing stories from our 4 award winners. So, although we couldn't be here in person, all of us together, we also wanted to hear from Hartford's Mayor, Luke Bronin, who has some words of congratulations as well. So take a look.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Luke Bronin, Mayor of the City of Hartford, and it is great to be with you for this year's virtual Polaris Awards. I wish we were together in person, and I'm hoping that's one of the last times we have to say that for an event. But it is good to be with you and great to celebrate these 4 incredible honorees who are worthy of this recognition and have done so much for our city. Carl Hardrick, Herb Virgo, Jason Jakubowski, and the Women of Color in Business series at the Women's Business Center have done extraordinary work for many, many years, but that work has never been more important than over the last 18 months, and we're so grateful to them as a community. And if you think about the areas in which they've done their work, it is the work that is most vital and most urgent. The work of trying to promote peace and prevent gun violence, the work of building a greener, more sustainable community and a greener, more sustainable world through that effort, the work of making sure that every family in our city and in our region has access to nutrition, and ensuring that those who have been cut out of opportunity have access to opportunity and the ability to grow their business, build their business, and create opportunity in our city. So I cannot say thank you enough to all of the honorees for what they do in the City of Hartford. And I cannot say thank you enough to Leadership Greater Hartford for all that you do to promote a sense of unity and commitment and passion and love for our city, and for celebrating these 4 incredibly deserving honorees. Thank you so much. Congratulations, and I hope to see you all in person soon.
Thank you, Mayor Bronin. We would now like to invite Tisa Rayburn, Marshal, to the stage. Tisa is a Quest 2005 graduate and has served on the Leadership Greater Hartford Board of Directors since 2013. She became board chair in December 2019 and has guided us through many transitions and transformations since then. She has done so with a laser focus, steadfast optimism, and creative spirit. She has been an unwavering support to the board and to the staff, and we will miss her dearly when her board service comes to an end this December. But she's really not going anywhere. Before then, however, we thought we should give her at least one more opportunity to speak directly to the Leadership Greater Hartford community. Tisa, please come up.
I want a hug.
Oh, hugs all around. Hugs all around. Thank you, Rosita, and hello, friends. Congratulations again to Herb, Brother Carl, Elaine and Melena and your team, and of course my dear friend Jason. Tonight is a highlight of LGH's year for good reason. How inspiring are the stories we've heard already tonight? What a profound difference each of you are making in our community. In addition to being a highlight, tonight's event is Leadership Greater Hartford's biggest development and fundraising moment of the year. Financial support from tonight goes directly to the LGH programming you've heard about. In fact, the funds we raise at Polaris each year make it possible for LGH to continuously adapt and refine our programs so that we stay relevant in a changing world. That change has certainly accelerated in the last few years. Tonight, our goal is to raise at least $25,000 to ensure that we can continue our mission work and begin that next chapter of LGH's impact that Larissa spoke about earlier tonight. So I work in financial services, and I'm certainly driven by goals and numbers. So let's just take a moment to break down that $25,000 goal and understand exactly what it will help us achieve. LGH has a strong 44-year history, and as we look to our 45th year in 2022 and what we can build ahead, the transformative nature of our programs and the support you can offer tonight can truly be viewed as an investment. Yes, of course, it is a donation or a charitable gift, but think about the impact. Our programs and the leaders that come out of them create compounding and lasting impacts in our city, in our region, and beyond. How, you might ask? Well, think about the local CEO who leads their organization with more compassion and with an inclusive ear
due to the experience he or she had in the Verge program. Think about the impact that can have in local boardrooms and the potential it has for thousands of employees working under that leader in a culture who fosters similar values as LGH. Or think about the Hartford teen who now realizes his world is much bigger than the square block around him and can better navigate conflict with his peers and seeks to be a leader in his school and in his community, and eventually becomes a contributing member of the Hartford, contributing citizen to the city of Hartford. This is all due to the pivotal summer he spent in our Common Ground program. Or perhaps imagine the compounding effect of training and placing over 800 leaders on the boards of 160 nonprofits across social services, education, health, and many more causes and missions through our Leaders on Board program. We can think about the retiree who is able to make new connections safely in the middle of a pandemic and works to be a change agent on some of our state's biggest challenges, eventually convening our community in an important dialogue on race through our Third Age initiative. And lastly, think about the young professional who meets new friends and colleagues, is new to the city, and develops a deep connection to Hartford through her participation in Quest. Her task force work sought to move the meter on Hartford's talent retention rate, and that experience later leading her to sit on several local boards and becoming an advocate for our region. Well, I have good news. You don't have to imagine too hard or too much longer, because these are all true impacts of what LGH does. I happen to be that young professional, and through my experience in Quest in 2005, I have stayed in the area, having started here as a transplant from Seattle, Washington, and I no doubt owe my many personal and professional leadership successes to the experience I had stemming in Quest. I'd like to think I'm unique, but however, I am not. There are many leaders that have come out of the LGH programs, and we have touched hundreds of program participants in the ways I just described just in the last 12 months. Think about the tens of thousands of program participants we have touched since our existence. This is why I give to LGH. It's personal. It means something to me, and I hope you are inspired to do the same. Our Polaris honorees tonight are shining examples of leaders who give their best consistently to the work they have chosen to do. We at LGH truly believe that each and every person has the potential, and we are committed to helping them become all they can be. The operations of our programs and tuition scholarships are partially supported by your donations. Your support tonight helps us carry out our mission and provide the transformative leadership experience for individuals that make a tremendous impact on the quality of life for all in our community. So let's check out how we're doing towards our goal tonight. Looks like we're making great progress. We need donors at all levels, and any level of giving is appreciated. So I've already made my contribution, let me correct myself, my investment in LGH tonight, and I'd like you to consider joining me in making a personal, meaningful gift to Leadership Greater Hartford in support of our team's incredible work. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Tisa. I was certainly inspired, and I'm ready to follow your lead and to make my pledge. And I ask members of the audience to do the same. Those of you watching on a computer at home should see a donate button on the left-hand side of your screen. Click on that button and follow the prompts to complete your donation. Or if you prefer, you can use your phone to text your gift. Simply text Polaris 21 to 76278. That is 76278. Once you receive a registration confirmation, text GIVE and the amount of your donation. These instructions are also in your program and on the screen.
If anyone runs into difficulties using this technology tonight, please let us know. We will continue to accept donations as part of Polaris for the next few days, and our team will happily work with you to troubleshoot any challenges you may be experiencing. So, as the program closes this evening, let's take a couple minutes to continue to pledge, give, and watch us progress towards our goal. We hope to fill in our whole LGH logo even further than what it already was by your generous gifts. And thank you so much for bidding on all of our tremendous auction items. Our auction did close at 6:55. We're running a little late, so stay with us. And to help us wrap up our evening tonight, I would like to welcome back our President and CEO, Larissa Kotke.
So thank you, Tisa. Thank you, Rosita and Andre. This, as always, has been an incredible evening, and I am so grateful to be a part of an organization that is committed to serving, connecting, and engaging individuals of all ages and backgrounds in the work of building strong and vibrant communities. As folks continue to make donations at home, we want to once again thank our generous supporters and sponsors. We are grateful for the investment of so many community partners, which has made this evening of inspiration and celebration possible. My personal thanks as well to the Board of Directors for your trust and for your leadership and for the many ways which you've made this night possible. And to the staff at LGH who amaze me on a daily basis with their strength, resilience, creativity, and drive. I wish we could all be in the same room tonight. It feels very strange to host Polaris with our team spread out. So thank you to those who greeted folks and handed out catering earlier tonight, and to those of you in the room here. I know that although we are not physically in the same space, I know that all of our hearts are here right now, so thank you, team. And this year especially, I am grateful for the veritable army of friends and volunteers who made tonight possible. The virtual Polaris Awards would not have happened without support from so many, our Polaris Committee and auction item donors, and I'd like to give a few special thanks to a handful of people. Christina D'Amato, who coordinated beverage donations for everyone tonight. I hope you enjoyed. To Juliana Cruz, who organized our online auction. Karishma Pinto for her talents with graphic design and video editing. And to Lou Golden, who helped us tell the story of our honorees. And I especially want to thank our technical wizards, Joe and Ashley Trelli. The next time you want to host a virtual event, please consider reaching out to Joe and Ashley at Streaming Connecticut. They are incredible at what they do, and they're also really fun to work with. I love how we continue to work together to make Polaris not just our single biggest fundraiser and a wonderful alumni reunion, but really a source of inspiration and guidance for the Greater Hartford community. And of course, thank you to all of you who purchased a ticket to join us virtually, bid on our auction items, and made a charitable donation during the evening. You have all helped to lower the financial barriers that would otherwise prevent potential leaders from receiving the training and support they need. Your support helps Leadership Greater Hartford do what we feel called to do, which is to develop, connect, and inspire diverse leaders to make our community strong, vital, caring, and just. We celebrate that you are with us in this calling, and I cannot wait to be able to connect and celebrate with you all in person, hopefully sometime soon. But for now, thank you and have a wonderful evening.